Hi friends, I am very happy to be here with you today. My name is Dawn and I brought along my friend Splat with me too. Today we are going to explore math fun with a number talk. Number talks help us practice solving math problems in our head. Today we are going to practice making a 10 with our numbers to help us solve our problems mentally or in our head. Have you ever had a group of objects like rocks or stuffed animals or seashells that you wanted to count? And there were so many it was difficult to count them all? I remember being at the beach in North Carolina with my two boys. They had collected a ton of seashells in their buckets and they wanted to count how many they had. It would have taken forever to count them one by one. So I suggested that one way to make this easier is to put them into groups of 10. Then we could count by tens and add on the extras. There are so many different ways to solve math problems, and Splat and I want to help you use different strategies for solving. We're going to use a chart like this to organize our thinking. We will add math problems to each box and show our thinking on how we solved these problems. Before we get started, you might want to gather a few things. You might want to get a stuffed animal or trusted adult to talk to so you can explain your thinking. You also might want to get some paper and pencil or a notebook to write down your learnings at the end of our time together. This could be your math journal. Addition. We hear that word a lot, but do we think about what it really means? Let's use a Frayer model to think about it some more. Let's take a piece of paper and fold it in half hamburger style, and then fold it in half again to make 4 equally sized rectangles. Then, in the corner of our paper where all the sides are folded, we'll fold down a small triangle. When you unfold your paper, the fold should look like this. Does yours look like mine? Okay, great. We're going to write addition in the center diamond because this is the word we need to understand more about. Then in the upper left rectangle, we're going to define or write what addition means. So let's write the word definition here. Okay, great. In the upper right rectangle, we're going to provide an example of addition. So let's write example here. Then in the lower left rectangle, we'll provide a non-example or what addition is not. So let's write non-example here. And finally, in the lower right rectangle, we'll draw a picture to help us visualize what addition is. So let's write picture here to remind us of what we're supposed to do. Now we're going to define addition together. So let's think and then write the definition in our upper left rectangle. So if Splat and I are outside in the North Carolina mountains picking apples, we would combine his basket of apples and my basket of apples into one big basket and count to see how many we have in all. This would be addition. So addition is when we join groups of objects together. Splat and I are going to give you some time to write this definition in your Frayer model. As we learn more about addition in today's lesson, you will be able to add examples, non-examples, and draw a picture to show your growing understanding of addition. Are you ready to get started? Splat is. Here's our first expression, 8 plus 2. I want you to think in your head how you would solve this. Now, can you tell me the answer out loud? Did you say 10? That's correct. I bet you know that 8 and 2 are two numbers that live in 10, and so 8 plus 2 equals 10. Or Maybe you knew that if you counted 2 more from 8, you got 10. There are so many ways to figure this out. If you thought of another way, go ahead and whisper it to me. Awesome thinking. We are ready for our next problem. 8 plus 2 plus 5. Will you think about what the answer is in your head? Now, will you tell an adult or stuffed animal what you think the answer is? Splat whispered to me that the answer is 15. Is that what you said? That is great thinking. Now, can you tell an adult or stuffed animal how you know the answer is 15? Did you say that 8 plus 2 equals 10? And 1 10 plus 5 more makes 1 10 and 5 ones, which is also known as 15? That is right, and that is such a great job of making a 10 first and then adding on the rest of your ones. You are really getting the hang of this. Are you ready to try another one? The next one is 8 plus 7 plus 2. Think in your head about what the answer is. Now, will you tell an adult or stuffed animal what you think the answer is? Yes, 17. That is correct. Will you tell me how you figured out the answer? I heard some of you say that you know that 8 plus 2 equals 10. Then you added 7 more to the 10 to get 1 10 and 7 ones, or 17. That is awesome thinking about making a 10 and adding on some more. Wait, Splat, what? Splat wants to share how he solved this in his head. Okay, Splat, go ahead. I'm listening. Oh, wow, Splat! What great thinking! Can I share what you said? Splat said he knew that 8 plus 2 equals 10 because he knows all the numbers that live inside of 10, and 8 and 2 are some of them. But then he got stuck on adding 7 more. Maybe that happened to you too. So he decomposed the 7 into 5 plus 2 because he knew that 5 plus 2 make up 7. So he added 5 to the 10, and that equaled 15. Then he knew he had 2 left over, so he counted on 2 more and got to 17. What a great way to help you add a bigger number. You break it into smaller numbers and then add. I bet some of you solved it this way too. Splat and I have one last expression to show you. This one will be different than the others. Are you ready? Splat's ready. 3 plus 6 plus 7. Will you think in your head about the answer to 3 plus 6 plus 7? Tell an adult or stuffed animal what you think the answer is. I heard someone say 16. That's correct. What great thinking. Will you think about how you solved this problem and say it out loud so Splat and I can hear you? Oh my goodness, you are working so hard on making 10s today. Splat and I heard you saying that you knew that 7 plus 3 equals 10. So you added those two numbers first. Then you said you knew you had 6 left over, so you had to add 6 to the 10. When you added 6 ones to a 10, you knew that meant you had 1 10 and 6 ones, which is 16. Awesome work. You worked really hard to solve expressions in your brain today using mental math. You also worked hard to make a 10 to help you solve those expressions in your brain. Before Splat and I go, we'd love to hear what you learned today in your own words. I have these sentence starters, and I'm hoping you can finish these sentences with me. They say, "Today in math I learned," and I can. So I might say, "Today in math I learned how to add 3 numbers in my head. I can add 2 of the numbers together to make a 10, and then add on the 3rd number to make finding the sum easier." Now it's your turn. Read this with me and finish it by telling an adult or stuffed animal. Today in math I learned. Now let's read our next sentence starter and you can finish it. I can. You did a great job telling us your math learnings out loud. Now that you've said your sentences out loud, you can write them on your paper or in your notebook to create a math journal of your learning. Splat and I also want to continue on our Frayer model to show our learning about addition. We want to add an example of what addition is to our paper. You might say an example of addition is 5 plus 5, since this would be an example of adding 2 groups of 5 together. We'll give you time to add that to your paper. For non-example, or what addition is not, we could write 10 minus 5, since this is subtraction and not addition. Go ahead and add that now. Next, Splat and I challenge you to add a picture that shows what addition is to your paper to help show your understanding of what we did today. You can also add more examples and non-examples of addition. Then you can share your learning with a trusted adult or stuffed animal. Splat and I noticed your hard work, and we can't wait to see you again soon to solve some more mental math problems.